Hey Sages, and welcome to your October 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. Really beautiful energy coming in for most of you. Some of you might be thinking, is this too good to be true? Is this too much for me? Can I actually reach this goal? Can I actually shine like this? And perhaps some of you can shoot yourself in the foot by second guessing yourself, but ultimately the energies that you're working with are abundantly positive and abundantly healthy. How have you done it? It's been hard for most people to find this, as I do feel that this is the most surfacely positive energy of all the signs this month. So congratulations, Sages. You're going to be looking wonderful, really being able to find the things that you need and being able to reach the goals that you set. So really good to start off with. What's underneath it all? What is underneath the current desires? What is underneath the need to be front and center now? As I do feel that Sag isn't liking to be behind the scenes anymore. This is the last full month of Jupiter in Scorpio. So Jupiter is your ruling planet, and it has been in Scorpio for about 10 months now. And we are preparing in November for Jupiter to go into your sign back at home in Sagittarius. So what you do leading up to that period of time speaks a lot to what the next year will have in store for you. So what you're doing in October needs to be directly affecting where you see yourself actually over the next 13 years, believe it or not, but specifically like most strongly over the next year, because you will be over this next year really defining that next 12 years. So, but I do feel that this ties into that as well. And I think that it's so important for you to remain optimistic, like true to your nature, true to the Sagittarian thought of optimism. Like, I will look at the glass half full. I will find the positive in this, because I do think that there's been a tempting towards pessimism or a tending towards pessimism for Sag over the last year, as Jupiter and Scorpio can be very pessimistic, and you can even feel that it's realistic when it's actually being pessimistic. So Sag might be feeling a bit darker now. Sag might be feeling a bit more sort of dark humored or something to that effect. And you're really called in this month of October to come back to yourself and to come back to a more like light, humorous sense of abundance within and projecting that into the outside world. I mean, it's probably something that goes unsaid for you, but this is definitely a month where it's good to be positive and good to not say bad things about people to their face or behind their back. And also, like, if you're surrounded by people who tend towards negativity, this is an important time to, see if that is going to keep working. Like, can you, through saying something positive about the negative gossip, can you make it more positive, or is this something that's flourishing on account of negativity? It does feel like Sages might be encouraged to create distance between negative groups of people or negative family lines, and that's an interesting concept for you. You have that Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles reversed as your central theme, and Six of Cups, the High Priestess. Lots of familial energy coming in here. So yes, I am thinking like your actual blood family, but what I'm actually feeling is the group of people that you're connected to only through negativity. So like, what people are you connected to only through complaining or criticizing or being critical or finding fault in certain situations? And that's what like strengthens the relationship. A really good time to either rise above that or to find connections where the same type of connection can be made through positively fortifying even people who you might not consider to be so great. So positive forms of gossip or positive forms of like, wow, did you see how incredible that person looked? They've maybe been difficult to us, but they're really, doing something with their life. And that really comes back tenfold. I feel for Sagittarius, like, even if you were in some type of conflict with someone, or like a coworker is really giving you a hard time, like through complimenting that person or through helping them in some way, it like quickly disintegrates that type of situation. But maybe through trying to be conflicting with them or trying to plot some type of revenge towards them, that really gives it a much stronger negative lasting power. So do keep that in mind as you're moving into these energies. And I will say there's a rawness to the energy. If I can say, the way that I feel your energy is something that is not perhaps cooked well enough, or not like concentrated well enough. So if there is a place to work on something, which there always is, but it is an overwhelmingly positive reading. But if I were trying to seek where the work needs to be done, it's on the effort. And this can really fall in any sector of your life, but something to me feels like raw, like the meat is too raw, it's not cooked well enough. And like there's like a lot of resource, there's a lot of abundance, but everything is not connected well enough. The thing that connects you into these aspects of your life, the career, the relationship, are not cooked enough, which is an interesting message. And how can you begin to cook them to a better degree? I feel that it has to do with the optimism and the warmth. How do you cook something? You use warmth and you use fire. You're a fire sign, so there may have been a lack of fire recently, and now things in life are feeling undercooked. That's a really interesting message. I'm so proud that that's coming through. I feel this to be a cooking month for Sagittarius. So are you learning to cook? That would be a wonderful thing. 6 of Cups, family recipes. I feel that learning to cook or upping what is going into your body, like the quality of what is going into your body and the time that you spend preparing that, will do so much to heal you karmically this month, because it does feel that you're coming out of September with like things like, it's like the palate or what has gone into the body has not been optimum. So now could be a wonderful time to cleanse the body through something just really wholesome and sturdy. Not like a fad diet, not anything that's too potent, but just like a tried and true, like really focus-oriented meal plan seems to solve a lot of problems for Sagittarius right now. And there's so much emotional energy in this reading. I mean, look at all these Cups cards. You have the 6, the 9, and the 10 of Cups, as well as the High Priestess and Knight of Cups. So there's such an emotional evolution and progression happening within you right now. And a lot maybe to learn from water signs. And maybe this is, again, because Jupiter is in Scorpio. Venus will be retrograde in Scorpio, and we have Scorpio time coming at the end of the month. But there's maybe a need to, I don't know, for some of you it might be detaching from water signs, but for others it could be like, really strengthening those relationships with water signs and learning vicariously through experiences that water signs are going through. But you should come out of October with a new disposition relating to your connections and relationships in life. So as I've been saying for a lot of the signs this month, it's really easy for relationship status to change this month. You can go from like single to coupled or coupled to single, or even other strange things can happen as well. I don't feel that it's like a breakup month for Sagittarius necessarily. Now, if you have some like Leo in your chart or like Aquarius or something, that could be more possible, because I don't see you being traumatized, or I don't see things being too inherently difficult this month. But things can definitely change nonetheless. So I do feel like you have a more natal idea of how to cope with anything that changes now. Ever since you went through like 2017's traumas when you had Saturn there, you might have to have a light bulb moment relating to 2017 in this month. Like, what is 2017 still trying to teach you? And what can you take into November that really just makes that a non-issue and makes you that much stronger? That will be important for sure. But anyway, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week, and we'll see what else is coming up in the first week of October. Hello. We have 9 of Cups reversed, rooted down by the star. And right as I'm going into that, like my voice kind of starts to go away a little bit. So I do feel that this relates to like the throat chakra. What is your truth? What are you vocalizing right now? It does feel like there's someone who might have been blocking your path. 9 of Cups to me upright is like a wonderful new path, and there's someone there who's guiding you and sort of liaisoning you onto the new path. But when it's in reverse, it can feel like someone's standing in your way of the new path. And I feel that is because they don't know that they need to move. It's like someone is standing in the way of your path and you're walking up to it and you're not telling them that you need to move forward, and they're just standing there. There's just sort of this like unvocalized opposition, and they're not really even paying attention to you. They don't really know that they're blocking your way, but you're nervous to tell them that they're blocking the way, so nothing really happens, and it kind of makes this limbo go into effect. And I do feel that this affects you quite strongly. That's rooted down by the star, and this makes you look within and see, okay, what haven't I been saying? Because Sag isn't a sign that has such a strong tendency to be silent you are a talkative sign. You are a talkative energy. You aren't a sign that really has to think too much about your words or has to think too much about what you're saying. You know, sometimes you can have a tendency to put your foot in your mouth, but that's a part of your nature, and people don't tend to hold that against you unless they're trying to take advantage of you in some way, or unless they're that's really not the right thing to say. Sometimes Sages, of course, can say mean things or can say bad things. And that doesn't mean that that's the fault of the other person. But generally, when people hold that over your head, it's like it's a need for them to have an emotional experience as well. So that's kind of a whole nother subject that I could make an entire video on. But anyway, relating back to the first week of October, that's all about you realizing, okay, I've just got to speak. I've got to vocalize. I've got to say what I need to say. Sag isn't a sign to hide things or to lie. It is not a lying sign. So when Sages lie, like major splices start to happen in their realities. And it can be difficult, especially for those of you that have like either Scorpio or Capricorn in your chart, which is very easy for Sagittarius as those are your surrounding signs. Those signs can tend more to lie, and I'll just say that outright, or tend to at least not say. Now, sometimes let's look at like lying versus not saying something, okay? If you need to say something, Sag, and it really needs to be vocalized, for you not to say it is almost like lying, because it's providing someone else an unclear picture of what's going on. So speak your truth in the first week. If someone is standing in your way, tell them I need to move. Like, don't be brash about it. Don't be like upset or mad about it, but just be like, I have to go down this path. Can I move? Can I go down this path, please? And something like that. And you know, in like a real life situation, for example, I sense like some of you are in relationships and you have a certain career move that you want to make, but it requires moving, and your spouse is saying, I will not move anywhere. I am going to stay here. And therefore, like, you just stand there and you don't say anything, you don't vocalize anything, and you don't like get to go down the path that you wanted to go down. It's time to say, okay, this is my path. What are we going to do? How are we going to solve this? And proceed down the path in whatever way that you can. Okay. Week number 2, you have Knight of Cups reversed, rooted down by the High Priestess. So you're seeing directly after that first week, like, what you've held back. And it might not have even been completely conscious. You know, it's not that you were just thinking, okay, I'm not going to tell people how I feel. It's like one time of vocalizing your truth really starts to showcase everything else that's gone unsaid. And there's like a big spiritual evolution that is prompted by that. I'm really happy to see the High Priestess for you all. It hasn't come up for a while, and I think that it really speaks to your own spiritual and philosophic ability as a Sagittarius. Some people forget that about Sag. It is like the religious, spiritual, philosophic energy, which is interesting. You know, in a different way than the water signs are. The water signs more so rule like the energy itself, or the knowledge itself, whereas Sagittarius is the human messenger, or like the ability to tap into it, which is a power that most people don't know that Sag has, because they do kind of hide it quite well a lot of the time. But that's definitely an evolution of that, an evolution of your perhaps even psychic or mediumistic ability, and as well as your empathy in general. Week number 3, 6 of Cups, rooted down by 10 of Cups, all about connectivity, all about family, all about relationships. What is the problem with the family? You know, for some of you, it's going to be beautiful. Like, that could just be like a wonderful family reunion, or finally solving a crisis of the past with a family member. You know, making amends. To me, that is like a making amends type of energy, and being able to have a long, thriving relationship after that. So who do you need to make amends to? Who needs to make amends to you? What grudges are you holding? Sag is also a sign that doesn't do too well with grudges. Like, if you hold a grudge, it really affects your own ability to achieve. So what grudges need to be released during that time, relating to the family or relating to relationships that feel like family? It also feels to me like a, what is that called? The word Sages is leaving me. Like an estrangement. There's a better word for that, but have you been estranged from someone who you were once really close to? Does that need to be addressed, even if it's just within you, like why you did that, what your motivation was on that, and does that still apply in this situation? Does there need to be contact? As it also feels like a closure to me. It feels like with this type of energy, a lot of, painful energy can be disconnected, and we can like move on with our lives here. I also feel that to be like healing from an illness. If you've had some type of especially like an emotional illness. It's more emotional than it is physical, but it could be physical, especially if it had to do with like the chemicals in the body, like the liquids in the body, like the hormones. So like endocrine problems or even like blood problems, but especially endocrine. Anything that has to do with liquid in the body, though, could be very healed during that time, and you could really give yourself something or get like the right medicine or the right treatment or the right giving. Someone gives something to you that really helps you to heal, or you give something to someone else, like a closure or a word that they needed to hear, and that karmic action also really pushes you up and heals something within you. One way or another in the third week, something has to be transacted emotionally. We're not talking money, we're talking emotional things have to be transacted there, and that transaction gives you like so much health, so much abundance, so much strength. Undoubtedly, because what do we have as we're moving into the fourth week? I didn't even see that. Strength reversed, rooted down by the Seven of Wands. Don't doubt your strength here. Some of you Sagittarius are doubting your strength, doubting your capabilities, and doubting your energy, your passion. That's going to be reborn very soon. The ambitions, the energies, the passions, all of that comes. The purpose, it comes soon. Don't doubt, though, the weight of these types of emotional transactions that you've been performing in the week of October. In the month of October, because they do require a type of atmosphere, a type of environment to flourish in. And sometimes that environment doesn't always support, an incredible promotion or an incredible, booming business venture, although for some of you it can, if you've been working on that for a long time. But something incredibly new might not happen this month, like a new location or a new study plan or something like brand new into your life. But watch out for Jupiter and Sagittarius when that comes around in November, which I will of course be doing an entire video on later this month. Late October I should be putting that out, hopefully, and I'm so excited to do that video. That's going to be one of the best energies I feel to tap into in a while. But yeah, your time for thriving, expanding, and flourishing comes very soon. But it's generated quite substantially through what is allocated and transacted here in October. Okay, very important, very strong. The star, strength, the high priestess, 10 of cups, 6 of cups. Okay, those energies all to me correlate with a shedding of old skin, a new type of vulnerability, in evolution, in spirituality and mentality, and an emotional clearing of any baggage that really holds you down any longer. So, and strength reversed was rooted down by Seven of Wands. Opposition can be generated. You can find enemies here if you want them, but only if you want them. Only if you need some type of motivation do I feel enemies to come around. You're on higher ground, though. You're on higher ground from that, so don't worry too much about that. That's kind of like, it's like being blurred out. Do you even see how the photo is like distorting in the bottom right hand? It's like that's being eclipsed out. That whole like opposition, really being opposed by everyone, adversarial relationships every single day. That's going to be a thing of the past soon. So try to not doubt yourself too much or play up any type of echo that you feel of that. As your central theme is 10 of Pentacles reversed, no longer do we need to apply these ancient familial themes to something which it doesn't work for. Watch out for being too spendthrift, but I really don't even feel that from a money connotation, actually. This doesn't feel like a money month for Sagittarius. Like, your money is probably just going to be a non-issue. You can make new relationships, or you can have like new kinds of income. If they've been being fledged out and planned and strategized over like the entirety of this year. And that can be nice. Like, that can be like a nice little propping or a nice little bestowing, but nothing brand new, nothing like lottery. Not a good time for the lottery, not a good time to gamble or place business ventures that are kind of like a gamble, because 10 of Pentacles reversed does sometimes correlate with losing a large sum of money. So I wouldn't recommend putting your accounts in that type of position to make it possible. But I feel it more to relate to the emotional transactions that we were talking about, because there's probably quite a large emotional transaction coming, as that is right by that third week energy and really encapsulating that. So it's a large amount of energy that is being moved around through the emotional choices that you're making. And that's truly what I feel it to be for the majority of you. But anyway, I'm wishing you guys so much love and light for this energy. I'm really happy to see what I'm I'm seeing. Because even if there are like choices to be made here or something quite grand is happening, you know, we're not going to call it good or bad. I'm happy to see that opportunity for you. And I'm happy that things aren't bland. I'm happy that things aren't vanilla or boring to you. This isn't boring, and it's not going to be boring for a long time. Like the next year and a half are not going to be boring. But it's time to get healthy to where we don't need boring, because boring comes when we're not healthy enough to take thriving. Okay. So get that health in order, prioritize your body, prioritize like what's going into your body, you know, cook everything well, apply warmth to what you are dealing with, and remember your values as a person that you've had like, you know, 15 years ago, or like when you were a child even, like what were your values then? Or like when you were a teenager, like were your values in a really good place? Is it time to maybe find the good points of that and kind of pull it forward to now? That could also be really interesting. Anyway, if this reading was really helpful for you all, I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. It's very helpful. Your likes and comments make my day and help my channel to thrive. If this reading was really helpful for you, you can check the description box below or click the center of your screen to find my Patreon page where you can support my channel and receive these readings early and ad-free, as well as some other fun goodies. Okay, everyone, I love you all, and we will be talking in November as it gets closer to Jupiter moving into its favorite sign. Okay, talk to y'all soon. Bye.